I am a huge WWE fan, as you guys know. I've made some WWE content, and I love to just sit here and talk about basically stuff that I grew up watching. I've been meaning to talk about the current product, but the thing is what's there to really talk about with this current product? I love WWE. I don't want to see the company go bad, or I don't want to see it basically fall. And there have been so many problems with this company that I think a lot of people are starting to really see. And of course, I haven't really said anything about the current product too much because I just feel like that it's just not really in a good place. So I wanted to just sit here and, just talk about a few things. A lot of people are probably going to agree with me on a lot of these problems I'm saying, but the thing is, this WWE feels very safe. It feels very protected. It feels like they don't take any risk like they used to, and it feels just very like forced with some of the stuff that happens. And I just feel like it's just too soft. Back in the Attitude Era and even Ruthless Aggression Era, but back in those eras, those guys actually felt like they were legit characters who hated each other. Nowadays, it just feels very like we just talk about respect and then we talk about, well, okay, I don't like you, but I respect you. It's like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense exactly how they do their promos nowadays. The promos feel very, very generic. Anytime a wrestler comes out, it's just basically them saying, I'm the best, or they'll scream in the microphone and they never really are going to do something to where it's like, oh my god, like, did you see what so and so said last night on Raw, or did you hear what so and so did on SmackDown or something? You don't hear any of that anymore about the promos. I like guys like Trick Williams. I like Javon Evans. I do like some of these new talents, but some of them just don't feel like actual stars. And that's another thing. Back then, these guys used to look like legit guys that you would be afraid of. Like, you would not want to mess with them. And that's the thing. Nowadays, everybody looks like just people you would see at a coffee shop or something. And it just makes it hard to believe, like, this is the WWE. So when Brock Lesnar first showed up in the WWE, everybody was eyeing on him because of the fact that he literally looked like a big threat. And Brock still looks like a threat, of course. But Brock, again, he showed up in the WWE. He would pick up guys who were twice his size, and he would throw them around like they were literally just like maybe 80 pounds or something, like it was nothing. And that's the cool thing about seeing guys like that. You don't see them anymore who really are just like displaying these like incredible feats of strength or anything. Don't get me wrong, Triple H as a wrestler, I loved Triple H. He was one of my favorites as a wrestler. But in terms of being a booker, he cannot book the shows at all. Like, why is it that we get people who will come out and they'll say one thing and then, like, they'll tease, like, these future things that would be cool to see, and then it never happens? And then why is it that the stars don't even show up half the time? Why is it that guys like CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and whatnot, they do show up sometimes, and then sometimes they don't. And when they do show up, they only cut a promo and they never actually wrestle. I'm not saying CM Punk has to wrestle every single Monday Night Raw, but I'm just saying if he wrestled here and there, it would actually feel good. It's almost like as if like these guys feel like because when you're a champion or when you're at the top of the level, you don't have to wrestle as much. Jade Cargill, why is it that she's the women's champion and she doesn't even wrestle at all? She has not, I can't even remember the last time she defended the title. She has not wrestled at all, and it's really frustrating because it makes you think, why do people get championships and then they're not going to do anything? And again, it just goes back to the booking. Triple H does not know how to book any of these stars. What's going on with the stories? Why do the stories feel like nothing makes sense? Literally, it's either just rinse and repeat, or then they talk about respect and how they care about each other. And it's just like, this is the WWE. This isn't something where like we have to be a nice guy. You can't show up to the WWE and just be all about respect. Attitude Era was all about how you basically were at the top of your game. This is exactly what Stone Cold said in this interview with CM Punk 13 years ago. He said that he feels like back then people actually wanted to show up and be at the best of their game. Nowadays, people feel like they're just content being on TV. And that's the thing. We don't see any stories that develop ever. And it almost sometimes feels like the wrestlers themselves don't even care and are good to just kind of go home and get their check. And again, at the end of the day, I'll call it what it is. It is just a job for some of these people. For some of these people, it probably is just a job. Obviously, it is what feeds them and takes care of their families and whatnot. And that's good and all. I understand and respect that 1,000%. But sometimes it's hard to get into it. They don't show proper care and proper effort with what they're doing, and that's the thing. These people will come out and they'll cut promos, but they never back it up with, well, we're actually going to wrestle and prove it. Like, that's exactly Cody, for example. When he was the champion for as long as he was, he always came out and would cut promos, and he never would actually do anything. Like, he would just say he's the QB1, but he never really wrestled. So it really just gets to a point where it's like it just doesn't make sense, and that's why the stories don't even make sense sometimes. And then like you don't get any match build up either. Backlash, for example, they have maybe like 2 segments that builds up the story. There's never anything to where it's like this. The stories are actually like telling something to build the matchup. And that's just what hurts the match sometimes, because whenever you watch a match, like, yeah, it could be a great match, but there also should be a story behind it too. There should sometimes be a point where it's like we watch WWE because we want to hear good stories. Something else I think that's been needing to go away is the ads. We need to do away with these ads. Why are they plastered all over the ring like this? Again, I understand WWE is just trying to evolve. I get WWE, like anything in life, you have to grow and you have to evolve. And that's exactly what WWE is doing. At the same time, having the ring plastered with ads, and then sometimes they have tables and ladders with ads, like the Slim Jim ad or something. It just really kind of takes away like that sacredness that the ring or the weapons had. Or WWE Unreal. And I've only seen one episode, and that was it. I never watched Unreal again. It takes away a bit of the entertainment when you're showing fans too much of what goes into the shows. Triple H, I feel like, does this because he wants to paint this illusion like he's doing something so good and he's really creating these great shows. And not trying to be funny, the shows aren't even that good half the time. If anything, they're just okay at best. So when you're making a show that's trying to talk about how the shows are made and everything and what goes into it, it just doesn't really work. And look at the writers. The writers aren't even really in touch with the current WWE. And again, I just don't like how they do that. The ticket prices are overpriced. Everybody knows that these prices are absurd to go to a WWE show. There's so many problems with the WWE. I feel like the company really just is kind of digging itself in a hole. And I don't like to see WWE down this bad. Why is it that guys like LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, yeah, Drew is the champion while I'm saying this, while I'm making this video and everything. Drew is the champion and everything. But why is it guys like them don't tend to get really like big pushes and like actually feel like they're important, especially when the crowd is behind them. We get people that we don't care to see, like Cody Rhodes, for example. Cody Rhodes did good coming back a few years ago, and he did good in terms of just trying to chase after the title, because Dusty never had it. But to say that Cody is literally the guy that's going to get you to sell out shows and everything, it's just insane. You know, when people want to see somebody that they actually care about, like LA Knight, for example, and Triple H just does them dirty. WWE doesn't take risks like they used to. Give us some people who are different, you know? It's always nice to just change things up. It just feels like everything is just, okay, well, we're going to do this because this is who Triple H likes. I feel like I really want to talk about like some of the problems with the current product. We don't want WWE to be bad. We want WWE to be good. And whenever we try criticizing it, Triple H tends to get really upset by that. So we have to really just take all this into consideration, guys, because WWE could be doing so much better than it really is. So what do you guys think about the current WWE? Do you guys really want it to keep going on like this? Because I sure don't. So just please comment down below and remember to like and subscribe. It really does help a lot. I just wanted to talk about this because I really do think it just needed to be addressed. So anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.